the mayor of a North Dakota town which made global headlines when a neo-Nazi tried to overrun it, has announced plans to dissolve the city council to stop white supremacists from gaining power again. The town of Leaf became the subject of a world-renowned documentary thanks to Craig Cobb, a white supremacist who bought up plots of land and asked followers to move there in 2012. It sparked a standoff with longtime residents who did not agree with their views and were afraid as they strolled through the town toting shotguns. Cobb is no longer in the town and has settled quietly in Sherwood, North Dakota. However, Ryan Schock, the mayor of Leaf, fears he still has a link to the town, and he is determined to cut it off. On Wednesday, Michael Bench and D.B. Nilsson were elected to the city council via 18 write-in votes. They deny having any ties to Cobb and say they are not white supremacists, but Schock insists they are. The couple moved to Leaf from Wisconsin in 2013 and bought property from Cobb, who, at the time, made no secret of his attempts to turn the town into a white enclave. Share this article. Share. They say that they have no intention of pushing Cobb's agenda. We were plain people when we lived in Wisconsin, and we're plain workers here. There's nothing special about us. We don't belong to any clubs, any organizations, Nelson told KFYR-TV. We're not a political party, not so here. We're just trying to help the city, Bench added. There are fewer than 50 residents in Leaf, and Schock insists that the city council is somewhat defunct anyway. He says it only receives $2,500 a year in taxes and that all of the money goes on keeping street lights on. Cobb was arrested in 2014 for terrorizing the town by walking through it with guns. As part of his 4-year probation, he had to stay away from it, but it is now expired. In March 2017, his name was back in the news when residents in the town of Nome, North Dakota, torched a church he bought with the intention of turning it into the President Donald J. Trump Church of Rome. The town's mayor said that, if it weren't for Cobb, he would not have to consider dissolving the city council, but he said the move would not necessarily wipe the town off the map. If you really look at the nuts and bolts of this thing, not having a city council, it's not wiping Leaf off of the map. Leaf is always going to be here, the Leaf signs are always going to be there. It's just not going to have a council and a mayor anymore if this resolution goes through. We have to dissolve the town because that idiot, Cobb, showed up, he said.